Hey, this is James again, and I'm still at the Silver Pines Lodge in Idlewild, California. Please visit this place. I've talked to the owner a few times. He's a really great guy, and they treat you like your family here. They've got a beautiful lodge inside where I was recording previous videos. Now I'm in my room, and as you can see behind me, this place is like a log cabin. Seriously, this place is really cool. Check it out, Silver Pines Lodge in Idlewild, California. So in this video, video 11, we're going to be talking about why most people never try to build income outside their job. All right. So most adults stop experimenting with income because responsibility shifts their mindset from building to protecting. People don't stop building because they lose the ability. They stop building because they start protecting the stability. All right. So most adults never even try to build income outside their job, not because they're lazy, not because they lack ideas, and not because they don't have skills. Something else happens, something subtle, something psychological. Around the time most people reach their late 20s or early 30s, their mind shifts start to change. They stop experimenting, they stop exploring, they stop building, and they quietly move into protection mode. We've talked about this on a previous video. They start protecting the life that they built instead of expanding on it. And once that shift happens, guess what? Many people never return to their builder mindset again because they're so used to what they're doing and they think it's cool. Well, maybe not cool, but they think it's survivable. So when you're younger, experimentation feels natural, right? You try things, you explore ideas, you start small projects, you consider possibilities. Failure doesn't feel permanent because time feels abundant. If something doesn't work, you try something else. If an idea fails, you move on. There's room to explore. The mindset during the stage of life is simple. What could I build? What could I try? What might work? Curiosity drives action, and curiosity creates experimentation. But eventually, life begins to change. We all get older, as we know, and we all have responsibilities. And that's where I want to talk about the responsibility shift because responsibilities increase as we get older. Rent becomes a mortgage, a job becomes a career, expenses become predictable and unavoidable. Insurance, transportation, healthcare, family obligations, and suddenly stability becomes extremely important. The question in your mind changes. Instead of asking, what could I build? You start asking, what could I lose? And that question changes everything. Because when people start focusing on what they could lose, they become cautious naturally. Experimentation decreases, risk toleration decreases. Even small ideas start to feel dangerous, not because they actually are, because responsibility makes instability feel unacceptable. All right, let's talk about the quiet disappearance of the builder. This is when something important happens. The builder inside many adults becomes quiet, not dead, just quiet. Ideas still appear occasionally. People still notice opportunities, but they dismiss them quickly. They say things like, I don't have time for that. That's risky. That's for younger people. I should focus on stability. And slowly they move fully into maintenance mode. Maintenance mode means protecting the life structure that already exists. And that's good and that's dangerous. Protecting the job, protecting the income, protecting the routine. Maintenance mode can last literally for decades. And during that time, many people never test their ability to build anything new. The world, as we know, keeps changing. But here's the part many people overlook. While individuals stop experimenting, the world continues evolving. Industries change, technology replaces tasks, companies restructure, new opportunities appear, entire job categories they just disappear, especially with the AI world. And the people who adapt to these changes are usually the ones who continue experimenting, the ones who keep building because they're adapting, the ones who stay curious. But the people who moved fully into protection mode often find themselves reacting instead of creating because their entire financial life depends on the stability of one system, one job, one income. All right, here's the exposure problem. Let's talk about it. When all of your income comes from one place, your financial life becomes exposed to that system. Your employer, your role, your department, your industry. If any of those changes, your income changes. And many people never realize how exposed they are until something unexpected happens. A restructuring, a layoff, a market shift, a new technology. AI is a new technology, guys and girls. Suddenly, the stability they depended on disappears. And that's when many people ask a difficult question. Why didn't I build something else? It's not too late. It's never too late, though. So, the second engine concept, let's talk about that for a minute. This is where the idea of a second engine becomes important. Most people rely on one economic engine. And guess what that is? That's right, you got it. It's their job. That engine powers the entire financial life. But if that engine stops or runs out of oil, everything stops. Economic power begins when you build a second engine. Second engine, folks. Something small, something controlled, something you activate alongside your primary income. It doesn't need to replace your job. Right now, it doesn't because we're starting it. It simply needs to exist because once income comes from more than one place, your exposure decreases, your options start to increase, and your mindset changes. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the mindset shift. When someone activates income outside the job, even in small amounts, their thinking begins to change. They stop seeing their job as their only economic option. They start seeing it as one component of their financial life. The shift actually starts reducing fear. It increases confidence. It creates the flexibility they need because dependency begins to shrink. And reduced dependency is where economic power begins. Remember, this channel is about build your economic power. That's what we're all about here. So, in closing, here's a question I want you to think about. Not 5 years from now, not someday, right now. Think about this. If you had to generate $1,000 outside your job in the next 60 days, what would you try? What skill would you activate? What problem could you solve? What opportunity might you explore? Most people already know the answer. They just haven't acted on it yet. And that's what this channel is about. Build your economic power. Not hype, not overnight success, just practical activation. Hey, if you want to learn how to build optional income alongside your job, subscribe because the next video we're going to talk about something important, the optional income ladder. And once you understand how small income grows into real leverage, you start seeing opportunity very differently. Hey, this is James. Thanks for listening to Build Your Economic Power. Please subscribe, like, comment, turn on the notification bell, and I'll see you in that next video called the Optional Income Ladder. God bless you. See you next video.